Good morning, Drew. How you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Oh, doing great. Been a little
Yeah,
rainy here, but had a nice walk with my son, oldest son, this morning, and
yeah,
yeah, good. Busy week, but man, looking excited to be able to talk to you.
yeah. No, I'm excited too. And last week we had a little bit of a hiccup. Technology was against us.
Yep.
I'll take the blame for that. you know,
It's
um,
all your fault.
but yeah, no, but I'm excited because I feel like we got even more time to really dig into this energy topic and really talk about what constitutes it. How do you harness energy in your life? I think everybody wants better energy. They want to go to that next level, and it takes energy to do that. So I'm excited, man.
Yeah, I think that a lot of times people probably don't even think about it, right? You don't take that like observer perspective of yourself, like, hey, what are my energy
Yeah.
levels? How is that impacting my life? Because I think energy goes feeds right into your attitude. It enables the engagement that you have with
Mm-hmm.
others. It fuels your love. So it's
Mm-hmm.
so important. I think that's why it's part of
Yeah.
shears for us. And it's it's important to think about that. It's an aspect of life you can
Yeah.
actually, it's a dial you can actually turn to improve
Mm.
your life, but if you don't think about it, you don't realize that dial is there because it's not like on the side of your head or on your chest or anything. Then you'll go through
Mm-hmm.
life at a lower level of performance. So that's my 2 cents on it.
No, that's good, and that's a big thing. The responsibility factor, the fact that hey, you know what, my energy level is going to be the result of my habits, the things that I'm implementing, the things that I'm taking out of my life, the things that I'm putting into my life. And you're right. My relationship, how I perform when I go to my job, even in my relationship with God, everything is dependent upon what type of energy I have when I show up. So, that's good. So, anyways, just to kind of recap, we're talking about, finishing the inner triangle of life, which is skills, the acquiring of skills, the supporting those skills with habits, and then giving yourself the proper energy. That's the inner triangle. These things all feed one another. And so today we're going to be talking about energy. You're going to share with me um, some of the triune concepts, the three ideas that you had last week. I'm going to share with you some of the ideas that I had, and then also how my thinking has evolved a little bit. And then we'll enter into some sort of discussion from there.
Okay, yeah. So, but I learned from, even though our phone call last week was disjointed, or our video call,
Yeah.
I still learned from the ideas you had, because I think that was pretty good. So my little trinity actually got updated. But
Oh, I like
so
that.
yeah, so right now I'm calling my trinity fundamentals,
Yeah.
R2, and inspiration. So R2 stands for rest and reflection. So I think I
Yeah.
so I think you convinced me that hey, inspiration should be a key aspect of energy, because I think it is, right. But
Yeah.
jumping back, first off, fundamentals. Lots of books have been written about this, but eat, like, there's a book called just Eat, Move, Sleep, right? But so I agree with that, but I would add
Mm-hmm.
on meditation. So eating,
Mm-hmm.
moving, sleeping, and meditation, I think, are the fundamentals you need to be addressing on a daily basis in order to enable
Yeah.
ever increasing energy through time. And I think it builds up over time. And, one of the famous sayings that we, or concepts, we not famous, but a concept we've shared with each other is, hey, if you want to be a tall building, then you need to have a deep foundation. Okay. And the
Mm,
deep, yeah,
I like that.
and if you want to, the bigger you want to be, you got to have a good foundation. And I think that goes into virtues, but also I think it goes into, what fundamentals do you practice? What habits do you have?
Yeah.
What is your energy reservoir, right? So eating, you are what you eat. Are you hydrated? Do you have balanced meals? Are you
Yeah.
eating too much sugar or too much wheat? sugar and processed flour, that's like cocaine, processed, coca leaves, right? So
Yeah.
it's not, that really
Yeah.
highly
I know a
refined.
little bit about that.
Yeah, well, that really highly refined material and putting that into your body, like lots too much sugar, it's not good for it.
Yeah.
You need to be balanced. So, you are what you eat. And famous, or I say famous, I'm saying that too much. But a joke that I always have about my youngest son is that he's 90% chicken nugget. We got that from a children's book, because that's all he eats, And so, what are you? Are you a chicken nugget? Are you making your body process chicken nuggets to build your muscles, or are you actually eating better nutrition, right? So, all right,
That's good.
movement. Do you have an active lifestyle? Do you have a regular exercise routine? Exercise not only keeps your body fit, helps you live longer, but it cleans out your brain. They say that mental performance, it can be enhanced through exercise.
Yeah.
Sleeping, that is the world's best medicine, and there's no better thing than to try to manage
Yeah.
and improve your sleep. And so I actually bought
Yeah.
this electronic ring.
Oh, that fancy ring.
Yeah, it's called the Aura Ring. It has three sensors inside of it, and it measures my sleep, it measures my activity level every day, and gives me a score. So I can see if I'm actually sleeping enough, or if I'm old man going to the bathroom too much at night, and then is my brain spinning, when I wake up to go to the bathroom because I'm stressed, or am I properly relaxed, right? So that's something you got to monitor, and the things that get measured, actually get managed, right? So if
Yeah.
you're measuring your sleep,
Yeah.
if you're keeping track of what you're eating, then you'll
Yeah.
actually manage it and make improvements. So
Yeah.
so there,
No, that's good.
yeah. So those are the fundamentals, right? And I think that you have to make that part of your daily life. All right. So I went ad nauseum about that for my first one. I don't want to keep on telling stories, but I mean, so what do you think? You want
No,
me to talk the others,
I
or you
think
want
that's good. No. Well, no. Let's just stop there for a quick. Let's meditate there for a second.
to reflect?
Uh, reflect. Um, no, I love all of that, and probably a question I'm going to throw your way in a second is, when you went into the army, the eat, move, sleep. How did you? I mean, you already had really good disciplines through just wrestling school into West Point, then into the military. But I'm kind of interested in, as you continue to climb higher in the military chain, be that Special Forces selection, Ranger School, how they were teaching you how to eat, move, sleep, or meditate. But before I get to that, I want to just share a little bit with you and anybody else that's watching. Is, when I first came to prison, the weight of my reality was really more that I could really bear. And it was really my faith in God. But I ended up coming in contact with a group of lifers that completely changed me. And I was astonished by how much time they've been in prison, but yet how much energy they carried. Me and many others like me that just had 30, 40 plus years to do, you just almost want to give up, and I had no spark. I had no inspiration. And these guys were tough on me. They were ready to, get up and make me move my ass, teaching me how to get up and go work, program, get involved with different programs, start setting goals. And I started getting myself in an environment where I was inspired. I was setting goals as a result of that inspiration. And then I was having experiences. I was reflecting on those experiences, and the whole cycle just repeated. And, just the simple things of learning how to take care of myself. I'm going to tell you this. When I learned how to take care of myself, and I surrounded myself with people that wanted to take care of themselves, that really helped me have good energy. One big reason people start to tank in their energy, and just in their habits about eating, moving, and sleeping, is that they're surrounding themselves with the wrong people. You need to surround yourselves with healthy people that are trying to institute similar habits that you're having.
Yeah,
So
I like that. So I think I learned this from Brian Johnson, but they say you're the average of you know, the
Five
five
people you
people
spend the
you
most
hang
time
out
with.
with. Yep. And so, what are those people? Are you pursuing, those better, stronger, more healthier relationships, right? You need to
Yeah,
really analyze those relationships and
yeah,
how you're spending your time, right? And then, a lot of
yeah,
times people spend time in social media and also watching,
yeah,
news programs or, news
yeah,
or drama programs. Okay, well,
yeah,
what drama are you fueling your soul with? Is it good
yeah,
or is it bad,
yeah,
right? And then
yeah,
you're spending your brain energy or your brain time
yeah,
on,
yeah,
and that makes a difference on your energy. So
yeah,
yeah, your story right there of who you run with, and that motivated me to change that third aspect of the Trinity to inspiration, because I think
yeah,
inspiration needs to be fueled by the people that you hang out with. Who's
yeah,
your ranger buddy in life? Your
yeah,
wife or your business partner or workout partner,
right,
whatever. Or
yeah,
maybe you have multiple ranger swim buddies, um, so that they keep you honest, they keep you disciplined, and that's that structure.
yeah,
And so I think that's really good. In my life, I was attracted to wrestling when I was in high school, because
yeah,
those were people that were willing to go out there and confront those challenges. And then
yeah,
I volunteered in the summers to go to the hardest wrestling camp in the country, and Jay
yeah,
Robinson was running that camp out of Minneapolis, Minnesota, and I went to
okay,
his camp 3 times, and they're like 28 days long, and they had 4 workouts a day, and he modeled it off of Ranger School. So maybe that's
yeah,
why I eventually went into
yeah,
Ranger
yeah, yeah,
School and Special Operations,
yeah,
right?
change the course of your life.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then I just kept on building on it. But that's the key: is I started that foundation in high school. Luckily,
yeah,
I had that, and I just kept on building on the foundation. I haven't stopped since. Now, I'll be
yeah.
honest with you,
So,
my eating habits were not necessarily positively influenced by, I don't think we were as, as
evolve.
conscientious about our diets back then. And I was young and I was doing all sorts of activities. When you work out a lot
Yeah,
and you're young, you can eat anything and you'll be all right. So
yeah,
who knows what,
even chicken nuggets.
yeah, but now it makes a difference, right? If I have a big old pizza, then I get all stuffy, and back in the day, I
Yeah,
could, run on Diet Pepsi and ice cream for a homework session. I wouldn't be doing that now. So,
yeah.
anyways,
So
it
let me throw something else at you really quick. Um, being others minded. I find that to be an energy metric. That's not really necessarily in our trinity that we're building here, but I think it's an important concept. Is that when you're just self focused, I mean, then there's that ceiling because there's only one of you.
yeah,
But when you're others focused, when your life becomes service based,
yeah,
and I'm not trying to rob from where the shears is going, but when you're others minded, man, there's so many people out there. When you can learn to care about others, dude, you have an infinite amount of resources to have energy from.
yep,
And the other thing I was going to say was establishing boundaries. I read an article on sleep the other day. It was in a CrossFit magazine, and it said that we're really good at knowing when we need to wake up, but we're not as good at knowing when we need to go to sleep. So we need to
yeah.
be able to tell ourselves when to go to sleep just as much as we tell ourselves when we need to wake up.
I think that's
And I had
really.
another point in there too, but it slipped my mind.
Yeah, I'm a huge believer in that. So part of this, this smart ring in my watch is it actually
Yeah.
it keeps track of when I go to sleep, and then it sends me a text notification saying, "Hey, you're coming up on your sleep time. You need to start winding down, and
Okay.
hey, you need to go to bed between 8 and 9:15." So because
Yeah.
they say that if you can have a routine sleep schedule, then actually your quality of sleep goes up. And then there's
Okay. Yeah.
another guy, Huberman Labs. He Andrew Huberman. He talks about the importance of sleep, and he says working out early in the morning raises your body temperature early. If you can
Yeah.
get sunlight in your eyes, it wakes up your
Yeah.
body. And if you do that, then that helps establish your circadian rhythm, so you'll go to bed sooner, the next night. And then the physical activity also helps you crash, and so he
Yeah.
has lots of things, recommending sleep. But he pivoted off of this book called Why We Sleep, Matthew Walker, and I need to send that one to you so we can
Yeah.
share that idea.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. You said you were going to send that to me.
yep, so I need to get that in the mail. But going back to your point about service for others, I agree. I think that's my third, inspiration, right? So inspiration
Hmm.
needs to be who you hang out with, but also it needs to be aligned with your purpose and your why, right? And if it
Yeah.
involves helping others, there's nothing more, like doing things for my kids or doing things for my
Right.
wife. I'll do that all day
Right.
long, and I'll skip sleep. I'll
Yeah.
sacrifice any and everything for that, right?
Yeah.
And that's a reservoir of energy. I don't want to kill myself
Yeah.
doing it, but
Yeah.
when needed, I will. And so if you can get
Yeah.
your life aligned to the service of others, or I think
Yeah.
that's huge.
Yeah. No, that's true. And it's funny how, in a prisoner's life, my life, how there's so many parallels to your own life. And I'll tell you what, my energy does come down to how I slept last night, how I ate, what type of exercise I'm giving myself. But a lot of it comes down to, you know, what things I'm allowing to stress me, how I'm managing that stress, how I'm managing my responsibilities. And I got to make wise choices. I have to put myself in the right environment and constantly remind myself what's important right now. Brendon Bouchard said an amazing thing. He says, the main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing.
Yeah.
you know, and that's the main thing. And as I go through my life, I'm constantly trying to remind myself, okay, what's the main thing right now? The other day we had this amazing project where we were moving a water heater in this boiler room. It was 120 degrees. We were moving a water heater 5 feet, and it took us. I mean, it was a very complicated process. A lot of copper pipe. And I'm in the middle of this project. My mind wants to wander, and I want to think about things that are causing me stress, or could cause me stress. A lot of my stress is baseless, and,
Yeah.
and, and it takes away from my energy in the moment to be my best, not only for those around me, but for myself.
Yeah.
And I just that Brenda Burchard thing. It's like, hey, Drew, the main thing right now is to move that water heater. Have your mind on that.
Yep.
Don't be thinking about these hypothetical negative situations. I'm going to tell you right now, nature's given us where 80% our thinking is negative. That's been given to us by nature.
Yeah.
We're going to think negatively about things.
Yeah.
It's so hard for me to hold on to a positive thought.
Well, I think
ahead.
that is was a survival mechanism, ingrained into us over the multiple
Sure.
centuries,
Yep.
right? Because we're used to be out on the safari, trying to look over our shoulder to where the saber-toothed tiger
Right.
was going to eat us for breakfast, right? So you're like, what if? Hey, I need to stay on the high ground, make sure I got a river on my side, so I could swim across in case whatever. But
Yeah.
we're not in that environment anymore. But I think that's the importance of some sort of meditation ritual, right? So because if you practice that, where you go into a moment of silence and you just try to focus on your breathing or some sort of mantra, your mind is going to automatically start wandering. But if you can practice getting back to that mantra, and it's pretty interesting. I'm not as practiced as I want to be, but I'm throwing it out there now, so maybe this will help force me to start doing it, more routinely on a daily basis. But I have felt it where it's almost like my brain and my subconscious actually moves, beyond feeling my body. Ah, looks like we just stopped.